Welcome to Your Inspired Journey. I'm Carla Andrews, and I have the wonderful pleasure of being here with Jennifer Major. She is a fantastic coach, a person that you definitely need to know about because she's going to teach you different things of how to overcome life literally. And you're going to see as an entrepreneur how she's able to help others find their way through life. Welcome, Jennifer. How are you?
Good. Thank you so much for having me. It's such a delight to be here.
Oh, it's a pleasure for me too. Thank you so much because I know we talked just briefly, but we already had this massive connection about
Hmm.
life, really, right? And really, we found out we both love jewelry too. So
Yes.
anyone who knows me, I'm a big jewelry gal. So it's good to see someone who loves just the brightness that it brings, right? It's a small accessory, but it brings such joy to us.
Absolutely.
And I just love the part of the story that you were sharing about how you were able to persevere and get through things. But let's start by just knowing who is Jennifer Major.
Well, thank you so much. So, I have been a professional organizer for next month will be 17 years. And that seems crazy when I say it out loud that I've been in this business for 17 years. And my background prior to that was in human resources. And I left corporate because I was just fried. It was really
Mm,
hard. I wanted to do bigger and better things, but it was I was tired of getting told no for dumb reasons.
mm,
And, most of it was, I was pretty successful when I was young. And so, here I am at a director, almost VP level at 25, 26. And it was hard to take me seriously because I probably looked like I was maybe 21, right? And so it was just, I was tired of fighting against that and the sexual harassment and, all the crap that
wow.
came with working in the 90s and early 2000s. And I mean, there was part of it I loved. I worked in tech startups and loved that. I loved the energy behind it. I loved
The
the
energy.
transformation in it. And, and so between that and the fact that I've been most of my adult life fighting endometriosis, and by fighting, I
Mm,
mean like literally every day was a battle, and it was a different
mm,
battle. And so it was too much. And I had
mm.
recently gotten married. We were talking about having a family, and I didn't know what that was going to look like in terms of my health and my body and all of that. And so I thought, let me, before I go there, start my own business. So I went out doing
Mhm.
HR for small businesses. And I loved helping the small businesses. I didn't love doing the HR, but I loved helping the small businesses. And I literally put the organizing in there because I just wanted something fun. I wanted something that I could do and I could
Mm,
help people, and then I could leave. Right? It didn't follow me. Nobody
mm.
called me at 11 o'clock at night wondering where their spatula was. I mean, it was just, and people were always happy when I helped them. And so it was truly just a fill in initially because I wanted something fun. And over the course of time realized that it was my life's work.
Mm.
And it's interesting because when I was from the time I was a little girl, I always thought I wanted to be a teacher. My mom was a teacher. Most of my family are filled with teachers. But the idea of teaching in a classroom to small kids, totally not my jam. I think I'm a really good teacher to my own children, to my own girls, but that's because they go away during the day. Like, thank goodness my youngest is 15, so that she's kind of teaching herself during this homeschooling time during the pandemic. But that's not my thing at all. But I
I mean, we all
love,
we all we all find our gifting, don't we?
for sure, I love teaching adults, particularly
Mm,
women, and even more so entrepreneurs and small business owners, because there's so much great there and there's so much energy there. To me, it's like a tech startup, right? There's so
mm-hmm,
much
mm-hmm.
energy and there's so much great and there's so many good ideas, and there's also so much freaking hard.
Yeah.
And so to be able to be there, not just for them but with them, I just absolutely love. Absolutely love it.
Nice.
Hmm.
That's fantastic. And so what inspired you to take it and make it a business?
So I think slowly but surely it was, and it was one of those, it's not like I woke up the second year of business and thought, oh, I'm
Mm-hmm,
going to do organizing full time, because
mm-hmm,
I had my master's in HR, I had my certification, I'd spent all these years, and it was really hard to give up on that should, right? I should
yeah,
stay in
yeah.
HR. I should do this. I should have a regular job, right? Because organizing didn't feel like a job.
Mm-hmm,
It
mm-hmm.
felt like fun.
Feel like a
And
hobby, yeah.
so, um, and so slowly but surely it became more and more of my business because I wanted less and less of the HR. And about 3 years ago, right around, I'm in Houston. And so right around the time of Hurricane Harvey, we were right downstream of where the secondary flooding happened. It
Mhm.
was 8 inches from our front door for 3 weeks.
Wow.
Um, at some level, we wish we had flooded, and at some level, we're blessed that we didn't, right? Because
Mm,
there were terrible things that came with both. And so that's when I knew, like, I don't want to do anymore what I don't want to do.
mm.
So it's time to go all in. And I had had those dreams before, but it seemed hard. It seemed impossible.
To
Life
reach
got in
those
the
dreams.
way.
Yep.
And so I took those lessons that I had learned before. I took those lessons in the midst of Harvey and created what I'm seeing today.
Mm,
Now, I'll be real that I thought it was going to be slower because I was still doing a lot of in-person organizing, loved that work. I
mm-hmm.
knew I wanted to go online more. I knew I wanted to get out and do more speaking because I wanted to be able to reach more people, and I really so loved that teaching. But it was hard to do that and fit it in and still have an income and all of that, right? But at some level, thanks to COVID-19, I couldn't do in person anymore.
Hmm.
And so now I've got nothing but time on my hands to create this new business that
Mm-hmm.
is 100% online. And
Wow.
so, yeah, so now, crazy as it sounds, thanks to the pandemic, I'm living my dream.
So sounds like as you were speaking, you tend to overcome and thrive in the midst of something, of a chaos, of a
For
pandemic.
sure. For sure.
So
Well,
it's interesting.
and I think that's so many of us, but
Mm-hmm.
it's so hard to see sometimes. And I
Mm-hmm.
think once you've done it a few times, when you're sitting in the midst of it. I mean, I'm not going to lie, like
Yeah.
there were days that I just sat there and cried all day or was
Yeah.
angry because, okay, well, now I have no business. What am I going to do? How am I going to pay the bills? What am I going to do with my kid who's at home now?
Mm-hmm.
All the things. And so it's just, it feels impossible some days.
Mm-hmm.
But when like,
Overwhelming.
other things have felt impossible too. And I've gotten on the
Mm-hmm.
other side of that. So it'll be okay. Like, put one foot in front of the other, lean on the routines and rituals that are so important, and we'll get through it. And I have to apologize for the sound. Of course, inevitably
No,
we would
you
be on right now, and the yard guys are here outside of my window.
no, you're good. So we'll just pause for a second.
So,
But yeah, that's that. Let me just pause for 2 seconds so the editor can see it.
okay, we should be good.
So yeah, so it's interesting because even as you were speaking of all of how you were overcoming different parts of life in the midst of certain areas in your life, it seems that there's a correlation with how you're organizing because before organization is chaos usually, and so here you are, you're
Absolutely.
coming in to help organize chaos, right?
Right.
Or contain chaos. So